You know, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to get away from that your typical press conference, and you talk about the fighters' records, and so I wanted to produce something where you chronically go back in time, starting with the middleweight champion of the world who started everything in this division, and that's Sugar Ray Robinson. So we move forward into the Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns and Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, and we move forward into this golden age, this golden era of boxing with Canelo and Golovkin. The middleweight division has been probably one of the most important divisions in the history of the sport, and we are here now with the best middleweights in the world, and on September 16th, I believe that this fight will deliver
so
what
now,
the fans have been waiting for.
Not only were you a boxer and now producer, but you're a fan of the sport.
Yes.
So when you watch it, like for me, I'm very particular about who I watch fights with, because people get very annoying when you watch fights with them. What are the most annoying things people can do if you watch the fight with them?
Just probably go to the restroom in the middle of the action, you know, like can you just wait? I mean, there's like tons of action happening. There might be a knockout here, just wait. That's very annoying to me.
Yeah, and don't blink, especially with these two.
Especially with these two. These guys are knockout artists. They're big punchers, and I believe that this fight will definitely end in a spectacular knockout. I don't know who, but it's gonna be a great fight.
Like, what annoys you when you watch a fight with them? Talk?
Yeah, when people try to talk. You watching the fight and people talking.
That drives you crazy? Or I don't like when people text while I'm watching a fight.
It's very hard to distract me because I can be talking to you. I know what's on my left, I know what's on my right.
Yeah. I think that comes with fighting, right?
Well, it's a little personal with me. It comes from being at a place I'll never be again.
Yeah, that's right.
It's called State Penitentiary.
That'll keep you alert. That'll keep you quite alert. And the film looks amazing. It looks very classic. It has a very classic look and classic style to it. Was that the intention?
It was the intention. The intention was to chronicleize the importance of the middleweight division.
Yeah.
To make people understand what the middleweight division has meant to the sport of boxing, and so our golden era that we're living now with boxing. I mean, a lot of people can say that boxing is back because of the fights that are being made. This is just like the icing on the cake. This is a fight that will deliver, and that we're really proud to have put together.
Do you think that this generation doesn't maybe appreciate that, and did you think that it was time to maybe educate them?
Well, we had a responsibility to educate the younger fan, the millennial. But believe me, once they watch this fight, they will understand the importance of the middleweight division and the importance of making this fight happen.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm a promoter.
Yeah.
And it's a middleweight division, a division, that I've ruled for 12 years with 20 defenses. I wouldn't. I'm really a guy that's not really good in acting. I really start learning late at 52 how to camouflage my body language, but I'm getting there. So I'm real about here in this moment.
What about the film?
This is real.
Have you seen
film too?
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, do you feel that it's time to sort of educate this younger generation on the middleweight division and all the trials and
I think
tribulations?
it's on boxing periods. I think boxing weights periods, not just the middleweight division. I think that as long as you got archives, as long as you got social media, all those things is going to always be, there to explore it and to study and to realize the conversation between now, back then, and what's possibly next.
I know boxing a long time. I'm a huge expert and critic.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you ever get into commentary or anything like that?
No, this is too much for me. No, I'm not smart like a commentator. No. He's very smart, too smart. He talks too much.
Well, you've been watching it for a long time. You study. So how do you think Canelo's changed over the years?
100%. Because right now he's more smart, he has more experience, more power right now. he looks much better.
Yeah. Yeah. And what about you? How have you grown or changed over the years?
I say the same. The same. Triple G 10 years ago, and right now.
Are you so flattered by the fact that the fans, even before this fight is happening, people are saying that this is going to be the fight of the year, maybe the fight of the decade?
Maybe not fight of the year. Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. It's people, you know.
And I know that you've been asked this question 1,000 times, but Mayweather, McGregor, how do you feel about it?
I don't feel it, but
you feel nothing about it. You're not even gonna watch it.
I feel only my fight.
Yeah.
True boxing fight. Sometimes you ask me corner and floor.
Yes.
Yeah, I respect. Corner, he's a huge fighter. He's not a boxer.
Thank you.
So we were just on the red carpet and we got a chance to talk to Triple G, Bernard Hopkins, and Oscar De La Hoya. And we kind of miss Canelo because he was moving kind of quick. But we're going to head in and we're going to take a look at I Am Boxing, which is the film that Oscar De La Hoya produced about one of the most classic divisions in boxing. And if you have a favorite fight, it probably comes out of that division. So let's take a look at it and we'll fill you in when we're finished.
Before we start, who's here for Golovkin? Who's here for Canelo?
Amazing.
Excited for this fight.
So let's get through these introductions very quickly. We've got Oscar De La Hoya up here with us, the legend, Bernard Hopkins, and of course the two guys that are responsible for having all these fans here today. We have a silver medalist who has destroyed everyone that has been placed in front of him. He's the current WBC, WBA, IBF champion. He has a record of 37-0 with 33 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Put your hands together for Gennady Triple G Golovkin. Alright, you guys, over here to my right, we have the current lineal and Ring Magazine middleweight champion. He has been boxing since the age of 15. Tenemos aquí el orgullo de México, Saúl Canelo Alvarez. Watching this film, I Am Boxing, tell me a little bit about those rivalries and why they are so important to the sport, and of course, why this between Triple G and Canelo is so important to boxing today.
It's very important because generations come and they go, and when you have a generation that comes and replace that division, unification is needed because it separates not only making history for themselves, but also cementing their history in boxing. So to be able to pass the torch from my era to Canelo and Triple G is just taking it further, and then they will pass it. So this is a tradition in boxing and in sports.
This fight is made at a perfect moment in time in boxing. This fight couldn't have come at a better moment for the sport of boxing. This is the icing on the cake for 2017 and beyond. This fight here will transcend the sport. This fight here will attract that casual fan that maybe hasn't even watched boxing. This is how great this matchup is.
Okay, una pregunta para ti. ¿Por qué tú crees que va a ganar el Canelo?
Porque los tiene bien puestos el mexicano.
¿Y que viva qué?
¡Viva México, cabrones!
I remember some of the first combat sports that I ever got to watch was boxing. And my family would get together and we would make food and my uncles would come over and we would go crazy. And there were these classic matchups where you didn't know who was going to win. And half of the room was cheering one side and the other half was cheering for the other side. But there was this energy when you watched great combatants. And I think this is it. I think this is one of those fights that does go along with the four kings like we saw in the I Am Boxing film. It's going to be one of those classic matchups, and I'm so excited for it. So guys, September 16th, T-Mobile Arena, live on pay-per-view with HBO, Triple G versus Canelo. It's going to be one of those classic fights. Well, I hope so. And I don't even care who wins. I just want it to be just as much fun as I expect it to be. See you there.